President Donald Trump's tough rhetoric on Iran. A senior White House official revealed that there is still no unified support within the administration for proceeding with a military strike. The official, who spoke to Reuters on the condition of anonymity, emphasized that internal discussions are ongoing and no final decision has been made. Trump's aides are reportedly concerned about sending a distracted message to undecided voters who are more focused on economic issues. This suggests that political considerations are also playing a role in the administration's deliberations. I have Major General Rajan Kochar, defense expert, joining me. Major General Kochar, welcome. And I'd like to begin with your opening comments on this.
You see, this dilemma has been troubling Trump for quite some time now, because forces have been deployed and an additional aircraft carrier has been moved, and warships, and the armada is already there. And when you keep a force like this for a very, very long time, there and when there is no clear-cut military aim actually given to them, because see, from a political aim, a military aim gets translated. But what we are seeing in the Iran situation is that Trump has started to get cold feet, because he has opened a large number of fronts. He is having his domestic issues which he cannot sort out, Epstein files, and now a tariff issue has come up with the Supreme Court ruling, which is now making him think twice that whether this would be the right course of action. Because any war, it's very easy to start a war, but to prolong it or to end it, I think requires a conscious effort, and I don't think this will be a short war. Because whatever Trump may say that it will be limited war, it may be limited from his side, but what about the escalation factor? What about the riposte of the enemy? And if that riposte in which some significant damage is done to the U.S. assets and to the casualties also coming in, will Trump be restricted on a limited option? So all these things cannot be pre-decided, because in a war there are a lot of intangibles. So I think now he's in a state of dilemma, and let's wait what emerges out of the talks which are going on.
Major General Kochar, I also want to ask you now, what would be the implications for key waterways like the Strait of Hormuz?
See, I have got a very different take, because if you see the Strait of the Hormuz, how are you going to block it? Through mining, because that is one of the options which Iran has, that he'll be able to mine the Strait of Hormuz. But then for how long? Because any blockage of this kind of a waterway or international waterway, after all, the entire 20% of the world trade flows through this. It won't be possible for Iran to do a blockade for a very, very long time, maybe a couple of days, 15 days, 20 days. Beyond that, I don't think is the capability. And then there'll be counter measures also by the Americans to remove the blockade, because it directly affects the trade to Europe as well as to America. So I don't think this seems to be a threat. Yes, it's a threat in being, but I don't think it's going to be a permanent threat.
Major General Kochar, as always, a pleasure speaking with you, sir. Thank you for joining me. Now, Iran is reportedly preparing a draft counter-proposal within days after fresh nuclear talks with the U.S., even as U.S. President Donald Trump signaled he's weighing limited military strikes and set a 10 to 15-day deadline for Tehran to reach a deal. Meanwhile, the U.S. Congress could vote as soon as next week on a measure to block Trump from launching military strikes against Iran without lawmakers' approval. According to reports, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said a draft counter-proposal could be ready in the next 2 or 3 days, reported Reuters. The move follows indirect talks held this week in Geneva between Iranian officials and Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, along with Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Rakchi said the two sides had reached an understanding on key guiding principles, but made it clear that this does not, mean a final deal was close. Aditya Vadhavan is joining me with more details. Aditya, over to you.
Absolutely, Vishali. There are now, as per some reports, United States can launch an attack on Iran maybe this weekend or in the coming days. So definitely, there is always a risk of a broader escalation in the Middle East because, despite repeatedly statements by U.S. President Donald Trump, Iran hasn't been able to, is not willing to make any concession to either its nuclear program or its ballistic program. So definitely ballistic missile program. So definitely, we could expect a major conflict between the United States and Iran involving Israel also at this juncture at the same time. So completely, at this juncture, it needs to be seen how things unfold in this scenario. Vishali.
Aditya, stay on with me. Now, the Trump administration is reportedly considering a proposal that could allow Iran to retain a token nuclear enrichment capability, provided Tehran fully seals off any route to an atomic bomb. Reportedly, Trump is ready to accept a deal that is both substantial and politically feasible at home. Back to you, Aditya, on this development.
Well, absolutely. Indeed, at this juncture, there is a growing mistrust now between the U.S. President Donald Trump and the Iranian regime. And now the American strikes on Iran are very, very likely a possibility. Now, there are, huge deployment of Navy aircraft carriers in and around the Middle East. And definitely, we could expect a major escalation from here on between the United States and Iran. Vishali.